so pleased to see such a tremendous turnout today. In the fact that this is just a start, and just a second, this makes it makes it a sound that makes it difficult. And most of you know why we are here. And let me make sure we can summarize in not more than 5 minutes. If it's more than 5 minutes, just raise your hand, so I want to make sure I stop. We are in this building, and without my wild imagination, I wouldn't have seen this building that beautiful. Don't you think so? Yeah. And it was a dream, I can tell you, when Dr. Kamath came 2 years ago, the first drawing, that looked to me a small garage. And I said to him, I said, no, we should make it bigger and elegant. And surely he listened. And thank you, Dr. Kamath and your team, for doing an outstanding job. And this building, India Heritage Center, will play a very vital role in our India Community Center. Because this will become a place to have all type of functions, cultural function, which we cannot hold well in our main halls. And this building provides that facility that you need. Though the reason why the building was there initially was giving a place for Hindu Heritage Summer Camp, which has been here on the site for the last 25 years. I have spoken earlier. Let me take a few minutes to give you a quick summary and then come back to our key person here today, the person who opened this exhibition, Dr. Kamath and his wife, Amrita. Because without this couple and their drive and their service, dedicated service, we will not have what we have at ICC today. That's true. And I became a big fan of Dr. Kamath. You may not remember that. 92, Ashwin Shah brought my name to him. And he said, might like to talk to him. And again, that is a long time, 26 years ago. And that was our association. You may remember that. I was involved in initial raffle program. And Ashwin brought my name to you. And that is the start of my long-term commitment with ICC. Before that, I've been involved in the initial foundation in '84, along with Ravi Sharma and Shashi, and a number of those folks who were the pioneer at that time. And they did the job of giving a place for ICC on the map. But it was Dr. Kamath and his team who took it from '95 onward and made sure this community center doesn't become orphan, and gave the life that we have today. And the reason I think I'm taking the time to give you a little history, because this is a very turning point for our community center. And at this stage, I think this center, which belongs to this site, and the ICC board and ICC membership own this place in a way, because it's on their site. And I want to thank ICC board, Josna and her team, for making this place available. It took some time, persuasion, but finally they came through. Because I'm a big believer that this community center is not for making money by renting it. Renting is only a way to sustain it. The main purpose is come and use it. And I'm glad to see that you have made an offer for such an event, and that too free. Thank you very much. In addition, we have here for this Gandhi 150, Kit Miller, Director of Gandhi Institute. Kit, you raise your hand, you have seen her. Kit has been the very leading person for the Gandhi Institute. I got to know her last year, and I'm glad I've come to know this stage, and trust me, I'll be seeing you more. And I think the whole thrust right now, and thanks to Ashwin Shah, who has dogmatically pursued this celebration for India, Gandhi 150. For the last 6 months, he has been talking to me, we need to do this, we need to do this. And if you know Ashwin, I've known him for 35, 40 years now. How long? For 40 years. Once he gets in his head, he doesn't come out. Am I right, friend?
Yes.
So I think as we talk about, let me go back to Dr. Kamath. And the reason I think Vinay and I felt very privileged and proud and the honor to have this fine couple do the opening ceremony for this center which is gone after our name. And the reason being, Dr. Kamath and Amrita, they represent the real Gandhi principle. The Gandhi principle is that you do the service, dedicated service, with nothing in return, and you will find yourself. And those who know the couple, you can see them in every function here, working behind the scene, making sure things get done. And my hats off to both of you for what you have done for us. I mentioned a few times to a few of the folks that we wouldn't have been involved in this center but for him and his team. Without that, we would have come forward and said, let's sponsor it, let's do it. And going forward, I've given them commitment that anytime he's involved and Amrita is involved, trust me, we are there.
Thank you. Thank you.
Because what we need to do right now in this whole effort is to get, we are working together. There are a lot of groups here, a lot of regional groups, but we need to take the effort to go and work with the community at large. We need to really expand ourselves because we don't need to stay here. Surely we should work, this is a nice center, but get our friends out here, get our neighbors out here, because that is the only way we can survive here. We have been here 50 years, so we can't live like a small frog in a well. We need to expand. So I think right now this exhibition is here for 3 weeks, right?
16 days.
16 days, yeah.
16 days. Hopefully, if there's enough response, ICC board will approve the extend, I hope, depending on what happens. And our job is to make sure that we get the word out. And please, when I send an email, how many of you get my email? Anyone who's not getting? So make sure your email at night time doesn't have a sound, because you never know what time my email comes. Somebody wrote to me the other day, it's 3 o'clock, what are you doing, sending email this time? I said, listen, whatever time it gets, I need to get the job done, I'll do that time. But anyway, I really want to thank you for coming over here. I want to thank Dr. Kamath and Amrita for all the years, and I hope more years to come together. And also want to thank, in the backside, Bill. Bill, where are you? Bill is in the background, and he works with me for a number of years now. And we have small refreshment downstairs, some water, and do you bring some cookies?
There's cookies.
Okay. And also there's a TV here, which you might be able to see Gandhi movies, or Gandhi short movies, 15 minutes. So, in closing, I want to say again, take the time, each and everyone in the room and your friends. I know it's a damn good day outside, sunny day, we want to do something. I had to skip my golf along with Ravi Sharma sitting here. I said, no, this is more important. And I think I will urge you, let's take the time and make sure that we share the message of Gandhi with all our friends and neighbors. And that'll be the message I think will help a lot of us. So I think Dr. I taken more than 5 minutes, you guys didn't raise the hand.
I'm going to take less than 5 minutes. In the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 16, Lord Krishna narrates the divine qualities. All of you are familiar with Mahatma Gandhi's life. As I mentioned each of these divine qualities, please reflect upon Gandhiji's life and see how these apply to Gandhiji. Here is the list. Fearlessness, purity of mind, body and action, generosity, control of the senses, self-sacrifice, study of scriptures, performance of austerities, straightforwardness, non-violence, truthfulness, peaceful nature, renunciation of the fruits of action, never speaking ill of others, coveting what others have, gentleness, modesty, never fickle, full of vigor, always forgiving, courageous in adversity, hatred toward none, absence of ego. This is what Lord Krishna narrated in 3 stanzas in chapter 16, as these are the divine qualities which takes a person from human to divine. Mahatma Gandhi was the embodiment of each one of these qualities. He was divinity personified. That's the reason he was called Mahatma, the great soul. Now, what do we learn from Gandhiji's life? Gandhiji's life history gives me hope that I too can become a better individual. Gandhiji did not start as a perfect individual. He used to have many of the usual human weaknesses. However, in this case, whenever he recognized one of these weaknesses, he determined to overcome them. He made a conscious effort to overcome the weaknesses. It often required self-sacrifice and in some cases deep penances. We all know about the life history of Gandhiji. One by one, he overcame his weaknesses and earned the title of Mahatma. Gandhiji's life shows us that with determination and perseverance, one can truly go from untruth to truth, from darkness to light, and from mortality to immortality. I thank Ashwin, the M.K. Gandhi Institute, and India Community Center for putting together the Gandhi at 150 celebrations and especially presenting this exhibit. Again, please take enough time to go through the exhibit. It's very informative. Thank you all.